What if I told you there was a way in which you can make the terminal work for you and not just leave it up to chance? There's a mathematically correct answer that tells you exactly how many offers you should look through before accepting. Years and years of data and studies in math that go back all the way to the 1960s can give us insight on when to stop looking and when to start accepting. You don't have to go based off of vibes or whether you're feeling lucky that day, but rather a rigorous mathematical solution. And it applies to the terminal system perfectly. And that's because Valve stole it for their terminal system. And it's called the secretary problem. And once you understand it, you'll never look at the terminal or any system within a video game the same way. Here's the setup. You're hiring someone for a position, and you have 5 applicants. They come in one at a time, and after each interview, you must decide. Hire them right now, or send them away forever. You can't bring back anyone once they leave, and you can't peek at who's coming next. All you can do is compare the current applicant to the ones you've already seen. So how do you give yourself the best chance of picking the single best person out of all 5? What if the best person was your first applicant, or what if it was the last applicant? You're probably thinking something along the lines of, just take the best one when I see them. But you wouldn't know the best until you see everyone, right? And you can't see everyone because once you pass on someone, they're gone forever. So we're gonna need to make a system for this. And the secretary problem offers a very elegant solution. For a pool of 5 people, what you're going to do is always reject the first 2 candidates. It doesn't matter how good they are or how good of a fit you think they are. Don't even think about hiring them. They're not to be hired. They're merely there to collect data. You're using these 2 candidates to calibrate yourself and use them as a comparison for the next 3 people. Only when you hit candidate 3, you take the first person who's better than everyone you saw in that calibration phase. And that's it. That's the entire strategy. And it's proven to work. It gives you a 43.3% chance of picking the absolute best candidate out of the 5. Which doesn't sound huge until you compare it to just random guessing, 20%. So now you've doubled your odds just by being disciplined about when to start accepting. And the core insight is this. Settling too early on a candidate is just as costly as waiting too long. The first 2 offers could very much feel like they're the one, but you don't have enough information yet to know that. And by the time you get to offer 5, you've simply run out of room for yourself. The sweet spot, the mathematically optimal time in which you take your shot, is in the middle. 43%. More than 2 times your odds if just randomly guessing at 20. That's the secretary problem. Okay, so now you're probably thinking, alright, cool, I've got it figured out. Look at the first 2 offers, and then once I get another offer that's better than both of them, that's when I accept. Yes, but no, because the terminal has one key difference from the secretary problem that we just discussed. See, the only difference between the secretary problem and the terminal problem is that the terminal doesn't have you flying completely blind. In the secretary problem, the only information you have is relative. This candidate was better than this candidate. You can't judge quality on an absolute scale. You don't know if you're choosing between 5 geniuses or 5 disasters until you're in the middle of it. But the terminal works a little bit differently. You walk into the terminal system already knowing the entire rarity system of each offer you're about to get. You know that 80% of your offers will be blue, therefore less. You know 16% will be purple, or a little bit more. And you know that the real desirable weapons, ones that command a little bit of overpay on the aftermarket, happen 3.2% of the time for pinks, 0.64% of the time for reds, and 0.26% of the time for gloves. Each tier roughly 5 times rarer than the last. The only caveat being gloves, which are 2.5 times more rare than reds. So you have a basic idea of what your next candidate is going to look like before you even see them. A luxury the secretary didn't have afforded to them. And that, my friend, changes everything. Now you're asking a much more powerful question. Is this offer good enough that I should stop, given what's probably next? Now we're dealing with another known mathematical subject, the threshold problem. And we're going to need a little bit of different math for that. So let's look at that math. First, we need to quantify these values. Right, blue is bad and pink is good is not good enough for us right now. We're gonna need to put some numbers to it. Luckily, that should be pretty easy. Since every rarity tier is about 5 times more rare than the one before it, and gloves 2.5 times more rare than reds, well then let's just do that. We'll start with blue at a value of 1. Purple will be 5. 5 times as rare, 5 times more valuable. Pinks, 5 times more rare than purples, so it's 25. Do it for the rest. You have reds at a value of 125 and gloves at a value of 312.5. These are values proportional to the weapon's scarcity. And obviously, this is going to be a little bit more general, right? A blue M4 might be, not entirely 5 times as cheap as a purple M249, but this will do on average. Now that we've gotten those values established, let's try and solve this. I promise it is easier than it seems, fortunately, because we're going to start at offer 5, the end, where the answer is obvious. Offer 5. There is really no decision to make here, right? You take whatever's there because there's nothing after it. So what are you probably getting? Well, there's an 80% chance it's a blue, so value 1. There is a chance that there is something better though, right? 16% purple, 3.2% pink, so on and so forth. So we'll have to take into account those and average it all out. Once we average it all out, we're left with a value of 3.3 on our scale using our values we just established, which is essentially a blue, basically with a little bit of hope sprinkled onto it. Well, that's good to know though, 3.3. We're going to hold on to that number, and we'll call it our walkaway value for now, WV. It's what you get on average if you just said forget it and let it ride to the end every time. So with that, let's back up to offer number 4. Now it gets a little bit more tricky, yeah? Because now you have to ask yourself, is this better than the 3.3 I'd probably get if I go to offer 5? Well, if we get a blue, that's a value of 1, and the value of offer 5 is 3.3, so why would we take that? No, reject the blue. Purple's a 5 though, and that's above 3.3, so we're gonna take it there. The purple that's in your hand right now, that's probably going to beat what you get next, so take it. Again, a little bit more hard, but still straightforward. Let's continue. Back up to offer 3 now. Same question, but the walkaway value has changed. Your walkaway isn't just offer 5 anymore. It's offer 4, played correctly, plus offer 5 as a backup. And we just figured out how you play offer 4. Grab any purple or better. If not, fall back to offer 5. I'll spare you the math this time, but those 2 remaining offers played optimally are going to give you a value of roughly 5.1. So you're at offer 3. Blue doesn't work, obviously, because it didn't work in offer 4. Why would it work with a larger number? But purple is where it gets interesting. The margin is tight. Purple is 5, your walkaway value is 5.1. The purple loses by 1/10 of a point. Your gut wants to take it, and in some cases in which maybe a purple is like an M4 or an AK or a play skin, you might take it. But the math says no. You have 2 more chances and they're worth more than what you're currently looking at. But a pink, on the other hand, that's a value of 25. And compared to the walkaway value that you have currently available to you at 5.1, take that immediately. Not even close. Offers 2 and 1 employ the same things we just did over and over again. We're just taking a little bit more into account. The walkaway keeps climbing as you stack correctly played offers behind you. By offer 1, your walkaway value is around 8.0. Purples are a 5, so they don't even come close at this point. So you should never take a purple at offer 1. Only pink at 25 clears it, and maybe a stat track purple. But what we just did, right, starting at the end where the answer is obvious and backing up just 1 step at a time, it's called backwards induction, and it's a very powerful sequence to use in math, right? And it gives you a basic strategy. Should you settle or should you keep going with real numbers behind it instead of you just going off of feeling? So here it is. The secretary problem gave us the mindset, right? Don't settle too early. Your first instinct to grab something as soon as it catches your eye is probably not correct because you're discounting the fact that your future also has value. And then we use backwards induction to give us the specific numbers, the data, exactly what to accept and exactly what to reject at every single offer with mathematical proof. So put them together and we have one pretty clear strategy. Offer 1. Offer 1. Pink or better only. Pass on everything else. Offer 2. Stat track purple or better only. Pass on everything else. Offer 3. Factory new purple, stat track purple, pink and better. Pass on everything else. Offer 4. Drop your standards a little bit. Purple or better, get out. Offer 5. Take whatever's there or don't. That one's completely up to you. So you have about 3 offers of discipline, you have about 1 offer of compromise, and 1 last offer of surrender. So that's the answer. That's what 60 years of probability theory says you should do with your 5 terminal offers. Not vibes, not going off of feeling lucky, a structured strategy that gives you the best possible expected outcome given the constraints we're working with. Skins.com is the first marketplace for Westerners on Chinese CS2 skins. Purchase from an extensive list of items or insta-sell your skins and withdraw it from a variety of methods, including bank transfer or crypto. For an insta-sell website, these are truly some of the best rates I've ever seen, and they are soon launching a peer-to-peer trading system to compete with some of the biggest players within the market. So why not get started now and get used to the website? Try out skins.com. Now, some of you are probably thinking, awesome, terminals are profitable now, let's go. Not entirely. Right? A lot of purples that you get offered aren't going to beat the price of the terminal, considering the price of them right now sits at around over $8 to $10. Right? We also have to take into account float values. Valve charges more for float values. So what if you get a purple on offer 4 and it's factory new and it's 0.000000? Well, then it's going to charge you more, and you're not going to be able to flip it at least immediately for profit. And blues, they're basically not going to be profitable ever, right? They're far too common, and even right now, where they're $3 to $4 on the Steam market, well, you're still losing if you bought that terminal. And in about 1 in every 3 terminals that you look at, all 5 offers are going to be blue, because that's just the probability of it, right? 5 shit candidates for your interview. And a pink, your first clearly profitable tier, you'll see a pink in your 5 draws around 15% of the time. For reds, you'll see them about 4% of the time, and gloves around less than 1% of the time. So the strategy is not a cheat code. No matter what you do, the distribution is stacked against you, much like a case. No math is going to change that. But what this does is make sure you don't compound bad decisions with already bad odds. There's no reason to grab a purple on offer 1, but you shouldn't pass on that purple if it's on your screen at offer 4. Because the odds are, even if you were chasing a pink or chasing gloves, they're not coming on offer 5. So the math can't fix your odds there, but the math can fix your decision making so you're not getting completely fucked from every angle possible. So I just want you guys to notice something. Sequential offers, no recall, and you're either forced to accept or reject the request in front of you. No looksy backsies, no takesy backsies. And we have known rarity tiers that make it harder, and we have known rarity tiers that do allow us to have more information for the next candidate, but don't exactly give us the best odds of the best candidate, no matter what we do. All intentional, all backed up by years of mathematical and statistical data. Valve built this intentionally into the system. They chose sequential offers when they very well could have showed you 5 at once. That makes it much more hard to game and much more hard for you to get what you actually want from the terminal, because the decision making itself becomes a gamble. And Valve understands that. Valve understands you're going to make the wrong decision by default because it's unintuitive, the actual system that makes the most sense. And it's a different type of system that preys on you here rather than the case system, because the house is always winning here, not because the odds are hidden, but because human decision making is pretty damn bad at making decisions when coupled with uncertainty. But for now, the info I gave you, that's the best we've got. And this should make your terminal experience a little bit better. Peace.